Hey guys, Christo Garcia, My Swing Evolution. I hope you guys are holding up great out there in quarantine land. Oh my gosh, this is crazy. I can't believe I can't go down to the golf course and hit golf balls. But I've got a great video for you today about my main man, Corey Pavin. Yes, Corey Pavin, 15 PGA Tour wins and a U.S. Open. That ties him with Freddie Couples, who has about the same record, and he's in the Hall of Fame. Now, Corey Pavin is a very interesting golfer. I've always thought of him as having a very interesting golf swing. I was always fascinated with that kind of over-the-top practice swing that he used to do. You know, Tom Watson said that he imitated that and discovered the secret of the golf swing. But Corey Pavin was not a big guy. He wasn't a big hitter, but what a bulldog the guy was. He could get the ball in the hole. That's what really counts. Great putter, laser-like short irons and wedges. And I think he hit it like, 250, 260 off the tee. Of course, back in the Balata days with the persimmon driver, he wasn't short. I mean, he's long enough to be on the PGA Tour. But what a great golfer. So we're going to be taking a look at his interesting golf swing. Now, one of the things I want to mention is I have finished the MSE fitness program. It's only $29.95 for 4 videos, 3 hours of information that changed my life. You guys know for a period there, I lost 50 pounds. I put another 10 pounds back on at muscle because I was getting too skinny. Even being a personal trainer for the biggest chain in the United States, I didn't know this information until the last 2 years. That's how I transformed my body. At first, I thought I'd be too hungry, I'm too old, and it's going to be too difficult. But I was able to change my body without doing anything extraordinary. Just an hour a week in the gym and changing the way I looked at food. So at any rate, through the rest of the lockdown, it's only going to be $29.95. And then after that, each video is going to be $20 with probably I'll put all 4 of them together for like 50 or something like that. But go to myswingevolution.com if you're interested. And in the meantime, check out this great video of Corey Pavin on what makes this swing great. Okay, guys, come on in here. Let's take a look at the swing of the great golfer, Corey Pavin. Corey has one of the most distinctive swings in the last 40 years in golf, and what a wonderful career he's had. As I mentioned, he's won 15 PGA tournaments, on the big tour, and, a winner of the U.S. Open. Just truly amazing. And I think it's inspirational because he's about my size. He's not that big a guy, but he certainly played a big, big game. So as we look at some of these swings, it's just fun to see him swing the golf club. But I think that Corey Pavin can serve as inspiration to a lot of us that, he doesn't have that picture-perfect Adam Scott-looking golf swing, He's not 6'1", but the guy can play lights out, and he had nerves of steel. That's one of the things that I always admired about him, So let's take a look at some of these swings. So let's take a look at these first couple. Let's go back a step. So here we go. This is a great shot down the line. It looks like he's got a hybrid at Riviera, which he won, by the way. Let me throw this out there. He won twice at Riviera. He won twice at Colonial. I was talking about him having, a similar Hogan-esque type of swing, but he won at both Hogan's Alleys multiple times. The guy could just control his ball. That's all there is to it. But as we look at this slow motion shot, this is really great. I want to point out that he's in such a great position at address. I've said this before, but I believe 90% of the shot is done before you ever take the club back. Corey adjusts his setup to hit draws and fades, so it's built into the way that you stand at the ball, whatever type of shot you're going to hit. If you're going to hit a low ball, a high ball, a draw, a fade, you build it into your stance. So once the swing goes into motion, the machine is just running, but you have to have mastery over your setup and your address. So here we see that he's well balanced over his feet. He's got his armpits, knees, and balls of the feet lined up, and he's going to be able to turn over this solid base and, produce the shot that he wants. Now here we can see, I love this little one-piece takeaway that he does here. I'm all about the one-piece takeaway, that it's all happening together. And then he had a pretty early wrist set as far as, most golfers go. And right here we can see that he's already hinging that club up. He doesn't take it too deep. He actually took it kind of high, but he's got what I call a squat turn. So a lot of people on my last video were asking about, does the back knee straighten? Does the rear knee straighten on the backswing? Not unlike Sergio Garcia, Corey Pavin actually squats into that leg. Here you even see that his leg starts to gain flexion as he raises the club. Now, I believe that it's very good to have strength in that rear leg. I feel like I'm going to step off of a pitcher's mound when I hit a really good golf shot. So here we can see him making his move. And he said himself, he wants to keep that head behind the ball. It's such an important element in the golf swing. Now, one of the things I want to talk about with Corey that I say that he can give, some of us golfers a little inspiration is Corey has a little bit of early extension. And he's a major winner, guys. So a little early extension isn't the end of the world. He's got pretty straight arms at impact. He doesn't look like Rory. He doesn't look like Dustin Johnson. And you don't have to either, is my whole point. You can play great golf. If you have rhythm and timing, you can play some great golf. So those are keys that we can really pick up from Corey Pavin, is that great rhythm and timing. Yes, indeed. So these swings here he's hitting a draw. It's good to see. He's got the club down to demonstrate how he's swinging along his toe line. And let's go back and look at this fade swing here. Here you can see his feet are open to that club line. So he's cutting the ball into that pin. So that's what I was kind of talking about, that if we build our stance properly, so the club represents the target line and his feet are open to the club. So he just swings along his toes. I love how Corey Pavin, he's following the same kind of advice that Jack Nicklaus had. And so here's his draw swing where he's got his right foot pulled back off the target line. And he swings along his toes. And that just helps him to shape the ball, no problem. Now let's take a look at Corey's driver swing here. Boom. I love the freedom that he has in this swing. That's what I'm trying to feel in my swing right now, is just take it up and then just swing it around. So good. Now, let's take a look here, a little closer look here. I've got this tush line on here. I love seeing that old persimmon driver. Oh my gosh, that is so cool. It looks like a Joe Powell I used to have. So here we up at a really high hand set. God, so good. And here we can see just a little bit of that early extension. It's not too bad. Just a beautiful flowing golf swing. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. I'm sure that some golf teachers today would probably be having him do all sorts of stuff, sitting with his butt on the back, touching the back of a chair and all this other stuff. But, even that drill gives me problems because you're actually, for me, my right hip, I want it to gain depth on the backswing. So the wall drill doesn't work for me. You actually, want to have enough space so your rear hip can gain some depth. Here's a great slow-mo down the line. Just a little touch of early extension, and he works into he works into a flexed lead knee. Now, what I want to talk about here is the inside and up move. It looks like Corey's hitting a fade here, so he's even a little bit more outside than normal. I love this, how he turns those knuckles down. Look at his lead wrist. So he doesn't have a real deep Shangri-La. That's so Hogan-esque. It's gorgeous. You know, looks like he's hitting a little cut shot into this par 3. But he really keeps his head down, guys. If there is a poster boy for keeping their head down, it's Corey Pavin. You know, one of the things, you know, I like Wayne DeFrancesco a lot, but he always talks about, you know, hips in the box. So right here, Corey Pavin's hips wouldn't be in the box. And the last person I showed was Payne Stewart. His hips aren't in the box. You know, I'm probably going to do a few other golfers to show this as well. You know, but it doesn't mean you can't play great golf. And I think that that's one of the things I really want to bring up. Now, there's not a lot of great video of Corey Pavin out there, unfortunately. But here he is from the front view, and I think that this is really instructive. Yeah, he keeps those feet down, keeps his head behind the ball, and just, you know, stays into a flexed lead leg. Now, this is what I wanted to point out here. Look at how splayed open his lead foot is. This is like the Hogan stance modified even greater. Like that foot is almost pointing towards the target. But it's certainly, you know, he doesn't have to move that foot. He doesn't have to make any adjustments. Let's look at it a couple times. Very solid lead foot. Part of it is, I think, having it flared out like that is beneficial for him to not have to make any adjustments on his through swing. So that's a swing of Corey Pavin. What a beautiful golf swing. I just love it to death. And there's a lot to learn from these great golfers. You know, certainly one of the greatest of all time. You know, I think that you could make an argument for the Hall of Fame, you know, with a career like this. And, you know, there may not be guys like this on the tour from here on out. You know, the guys that don't really hit it that long, but they can really scramble and get the ball in the hole. I've heard some PGA pros say that, you know, there probably will never be a Corey Pavin, but I hope that's not the case because he was just cool. So hit him long and hit him straight. All right, guys, let's talk about getting in shape. Let me tell you, I am so thankful I went on this journey because not that long ago, I wasn't able to do anything. I couldn't really play basketball, do martial arts, or anything cool. And I just kind of accepted that as middle age. For most people, they think that it's normal to be out of shape, overweight, and have declining health as they get older. Okay, it may be average, but it's certainly not normal. Remember the old videos I showed you? People were not overweight and so out of shape back in the day. It's very important that we maintain our health.